Everyone and everything loves pools, from furry giants like this to absolute tanks such as this. Even cattle like to dip in once in a while. Cow. One day, a daring cow decided to take a dip in a rural swimming pool, prompting the emergency calls for 2 fire crews, a vet, an animal rescue team, and a hydraulic vehicle. Early in the morning, the heifer ran away from her farm in Montcalm. Rescuers gave her the name Daisy. She entered the garden of a nearby vacation home due to an innocent case of wanderlust, where she discovered herself partially submerged in murky water. The reasons behind the animal's quick swim are unknown, but rescuers confirmed yesterday that the animal's rescue from the pool required much more effort than its entry. Together, 2 Shaftesbury fire departments, a pool animal rescue team, a veterinarian, and a hydraulic vehicle borrowed from Daisy's farmer participated in a lengthy and complex rescue operation. The veterinarian eventually managed to capture Daisy, put her under anesthesia, and then haul her out of the water while wearing a harness. She was led back to the herd after being gently lowered onto dry land. After its impromptu swim, the cow showed no signs of pain, according to rescuers. Alligator. According to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, a Florida family was shocked when they discovered a 550-pound alligator in their swimming pool. In search of cool water, the nearly 11-foot-long alligator, according to authorities, ripped through the family's screen. The family, which is located about 30 miles north of Fort Myers, was awakened by a series of loud noises late at night. The large animal could be seen swimming in the family's pool when they turned their heads outside. This prompted officials to remind people to always check their pools before getting in. Surprisingly though, especially in Florida, this incident isn't that rare. In Florida, alligators are no strangers to swimming pools. Heck, in 2020, a Tampa resident discovered a gator lazily swimming laps in his pool. And in 2018, a similar incident such as this occurred, with videos and photos shared online. Florida isn't the only state with problems like that, though. A volunteer fire department in Texas also advised locals to check inside their pools for rattlesnakes, as they like to hide in cool and dark areas. Car. Upon discovering that a woman had driven her car through a fence and into a backyard pool one Tuesday afternoon, shocked neighbors jumped in to save her from drowning. The Hyundai Tiburon was seen mounting a curb and speeding through a front yard fence on Rushbrook Way in Thornley at around 5:30 p.m. Thierry Hatat, a 25-year-old resident of Thornley, was not hurt, but she was accused of driving while intoxicated and without a license. According to the heroic neighbors, who only gave their names as Ed and Adam, the driver was in full panic mode and she would have died if it weren't for their intervention. Ed even added that it was Adam who was the one that began instructing Hatat to get out of the window. In the end, Hatat was rescued and Apex towing driver Dennis Groombridge was the one who had to get in the pool to retrieve the car. Surprisingly, despite the whole ordeal, Mr. Groombridge says the woman appeared chirpy after the incident. Bear. Just this Labor Day weekend, a black bear was found settled down in a Simi Valley neighborhood. According to police, a black bear was seen in a neighborhood in northeast Simi, swimming in a pool and looking through yards. Homeowner Mike Emanuel said that he just so happened to look over the window and thought it was a person swimming in the pool. Turns out, though, of course, it wasn't a person, it was a bear. Emanuel claims he waited to call the non-emergency line for several minutes because he didn't want anyone to shoot the bear. In the call, he told responders there was a bear in his backyard, to which they asked him if he had been drinking. Despite the strange encounter, Emanuel says he understands why the bear took a dip, though. The temperature was high that weekend in Simi Valley. Still, he never outright expected a bear would be swimming in his pool. That sighting was followed by another one, where a different person reported that a bear wandered into their home through an open door. Skinny dipper. A Florida woman is in trouble after it was claimed that she repeatedly broke into her neighbor's pool to go skinny dipping. After the owner reported that his pool cage had been cut open, Charlotte County deputies were called to an Inglewood residence for a burglary report. According to the report, deputies found cigarettes, keys, women's underwear, and a steak knife at the pool. Then one weekend, she struck once more while the homeowner was in Canada. Weidman was a repeat trespasser, the homeowner informed deputies, so he tried to stop it. He warned Weidman to stay off his property by putting signs around his house and writing her numerous letters. However, this isn't the only instance of skinny dippers found in other people's pools. Heck, a Florida family discovered an uninvited visitor to their swimming pool after the lady homeowner checked her security camera. There she saw a naked guy doing disgusting things in her pool. When she asked him what he was doing, he just stared at her. Because of that, she released her pit bull in the backyard, causing him to run. Coyote. 'Twas a fine Saturday morning when Nicole Van D. Wolfshaw heard a racket outside her Glabber Park home. Pretty terrifying, as Nicole was also outside boiling water on her barbecue to make some coffee. She cautiously investigated the noise, and she admittedly didn't see anything right away, despite the huge noise the crows were making around the neighborhood. That's a signal that she knew a predator was nearby. But then she walked over to her pool where she discovered the said predator. It was a coyote taking a dip, and that was also struggling to get out. Nicole said she wanted to help the coyote, though there weren't many safe ways to do so. So what she did instead was lure it toward the pool steps so it could easily exit. Though that method didn't work as well as she'd hoped, as the creature looked pretty tired. Nicole was scared it would drown. In the end, though, everything turned out fine. The coyote got out and ran towards the back of Nicole's yard, crossing into her neighbor's property. Hopefully it doesn't fall into another pool. Hippo. Family was shocked to discover a 3-ton hippo swimming in their pool when they woke up. According to Brent Reed, 47, in the early hours of December 31st, 2019, the giant male was spotted in the garden of his home in Moan, Botswana. The safari director snapped photos of his youngest child, Troy, aged 11, and friend Kyle Stain, 15, gazing down at the wild animal, which he said appeared entirely at ease with their presence. The hippo is also one of the most dangerous animals in the world, and it took its time leaving the family's 2-meter deep pool before climbing out to ring in the new year. Mr. Reed said he didn't think the animal could get out, but that proved him wrong. On January 1st, he and his family woke up to find the hippo grazing outside their bedroom instead. He surmises the hippo was there due to the region's experiencing sweltering and dry summer. Apparently, the Thalmakane River dried up, so his family's pool was probably the most inviting place for the hippo, as the house was right along the dry riverbed. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Found this in your pool, you'd probably panic and swim like crazy to get out. Snake. Though we see some snake owners allowing their scaly pets to dip in the pool with them, this family had no such pet. But still, a snake was in their pool. An unwelcome surprise was in store for an Australian family when they discovered one of the world's deadliest snakes in their swimming pool. The eastern brown snake was found cooling off in a swimming pool on Tuesday afternoon in the Adelaide neighborhood of Marino. A group of expertly trained snake catchers from Adelaide posted the video of the snake swimming in the family's pool. They added the caption, "This beautiful eastern brown found a nice place to cool down in the heat of Marino today. Too bad it was in the overflow channel of a family pool." The eastern brown snake is highly venomous. Most snakebite fatalities in Australia are actually caused by this species, which is common throughout eastern Australia. The Australian Museum claims this snake species is probably encountered more frequently than any other kind and can retaliate defensively if startled or concerned. It can cause paralysis and uncontrollable bleeding as well. Poop. If you love going to public swimming pools, you should rethink where you're going for a swim. According to a government study, public pools were found to have widespread fecal contamination and other potentially harmful parasites. Researchers from the CDC took water samples from filters at 160 public swimming pools in the metro Atlanta area, indoors and outdoors. These tests show that 58% of the water samples tested positive for the bacteria E. coli. They also discovered poop in almost 60% of the pools. Though people are unlikely to become ill from the presence of E. coli, according to Dr. Susan Rem, medical director at the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases and vice chair of the Infectious Diseases Department at Cleveland Clinic. Oh boy, that was a mouthful and a half right there. Many people have likely already consumed some E. coli unintentionally. According to the CDC, the substantial amount of E. coli contamination could indicate that some swimmers are having fecal incidents in the water, or that some individuals aren't giving themselves a thorough enough shower before going into the pool. Yeah, what do you say? Wanna go to the public pool now, kiddo? Corpses. 3 family members were found dead in a pool. Officials said that none of them appeared to know how to swim. Bharat Patel, 62, his daughter-in-law Nisha Patel, 33, and her 8-year-old daughter appeared to have drowned by accident, according to Middlesex County Acting Prosecutor Christopher Cooperitt. Initially, it was suspected that electricity played a role in their deaths, but that no longer appears to be the case. According to NBC New York, the young girl stepped onto a 6 or 7 foot section of the pool and did not call for help. The report then says the grandfather, Bharat, jumped in to assist her, but did not know how to swim. Nisha Patel then jumped in, but was also unable to swim. All 3 sadly drowned. Neighbors told NBC New York that the family had only recently moved into the house and had recently fixed the pool. They suspected it was the first time they had used said pool. The medical examiner has determined that all 3 died due to accidental drowning. It was one tragic day for the family right there. See you all next time.